Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She, yeah, she's selling Sacramento. Agent G, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She, yeah, she's selling Sacramento. Agent G, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She, yeah, she's selling Sacramento. Agent G, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She, yeah, she's selling Sacramento. Agent G, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She, yeah, she's selling Sacramento. Agent G, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She, yeah, she's selling Sacramento. Agent G, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She, yeah, she's selling Sacramento. Agent G, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Agent G, she's selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Agent G, she's selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Agent G, she's selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Oh yeah. Agent G, yeah, selling Sacramento. She's selling Sacramento. Agent G.
Can you turn it up for me a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know you too. There it is.
10.
Selling Sacramento. Hey y'all, if y'all out there watching, let us know in the chat.
Let's go.
Hey everyone, it is Wednesday. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key and we are selling Sacramento. If you've been listening to the show last week, I had on a very special set of guests. And that was part one. This is part two of those very special guests. The episode the past week and this week is called A Cooling Market Calls for, excuse me, A Cooling Market Calls for the Selling Sacramento Buyer Squad. And you may be wondering, what is the Selling Sacramento Buyer Squad? Why do you need a Selling Sacramento Buyer Squad? And ladies and gentlemen, I am adamant about making sure that there is equitable and fair and professional representation in our local real estate industry. I wish that there were fair and equitable representation in the real estate industry worldwide, but I can only control my little corner of the world, which is Sacramento. And so in my best effort, and after seeing things that I've seen that I cannot unsee, about a year ago, this has probably been a few years in the making, when I had been thinking about creating a coaching program. And over the years, several people will inbox me and say, hey, I'm watching you. I see you on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. And, I really want to get in the industry, or I'm in the industry and, I need better training. Can you train me? Can I follow you? Can I shadow you? And for the most part, I vetted them. My thought process is there are too many people in the industry right now that probably shouldn't be here. And I call it the 80-20 rule. 20% of the agents are actually doing 80% of the work. The other 80 are trying to find their way because they don't have the proper training, or this probably wasn't a great career choice for them, and they're struggling right now trying to figure out how to get business. They're really struggling right now, trying to keep their head above water, got bills coming in, but have brokerages to pay. And so for me, one of the things that helped me define what path I was supposed to be on, number one was prayer. But number two was going through the process of doing things like a Myers-Briggs exam, the spiritual gifts tests, just different personality, character, and value type situations that all kept pointing back to who I was and who I wasn't, where my strengths were, where my weaknesses are, and that I need to lean into the strong areas. And then I need to strengthen the areas where I'm weak. So I thought, I wonder what that looks like in real estate. So when people reach out to me, I forward them the Myers-Briggs exam, and I forward them personality tests so that they can see, here is the personality type and the strengths that you need to have for real estate. Take this test and see if you have these. Because if you enter this field, this is where you're going to need to be. And if you don't have these strengths, you may want to reconsider whether or not this is the right field for you. So last year, I guess it was just weighing really heavy on me because I started getting these DMs from a few folks that are in this room right now.
Guilty.
And they were just like nonstop, just, oh, you gonna coach me. I'm following you. I'm not but that is a testament to what it takes to make it in this business. You've got to be diligent. You've got to be persistent. You know the saying, persistence overcomes resistance. I gave in, I caved. I was like, all right. And then at the same time that I said yes to them, a couple of other people did the same thing. And so I realized what was happening. Keisha, this is your group. This is who you'll coach. And all of them had stories that when they shared them with me, showed me that they were not in this because they liked watching HGTV. They were not in this because they liked showing houses. They were not in this because they see people making a ton of money. They were in this because there was something about their lives that triggered this path. There was something about real estate that was drawing them in. The idea about helping people. They all possessed a skill set of service before entering real estate. It was just a part of their personality and their values. So I'm excited today to be presenting part 2 of the clan that I coached. It was initially a 12-week training.
Yes.
It moved up to 16 weeks, but now we're at week
Almost a year.
Yeah.
She's stuck with us.
I can't shake them.
Yeah.
Cannot shake them. And I'm happy about it because I will go to the mat for these folks because they are truly, they're the kind of folks that you give them an assignment, they get it done and come back and be like, what's next? And that is someone who's coachable. And then you see, and they shared with me the heart, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, Keisha, and it ain't doing nothing. And I'm like, hang in there. Did you do this? Did you do that? Yes, hang in there. 2 days later, guess what?
Yeah. Success Story Saturday.
Yes. So, systems and processes, resourcefulness, the energy, motivation. I could go on and on and on about the team that I called the Selling Sacramento Buyer Squad. and I call them a buyer squad. They do more than represent buyers, but I have asked them, and they have generously accepted to represent my buyers, my clients who come to me for buyer's assistance. And it's always good when you are an agent that's producing a lot, or you have access to helping a lot of people, that you have a team. And not only that you have a team, but a team who provides the same level of service that you do. A team that has the values, the systems, the processes, and the resources in place. And that's what all of these people possess. Last week, you heard from Sydney Chapman, Marielle Cooper Keto, Keelan Johnson, and they are all from Big Block Realty, Coldwell Banker, and EXP Realty, respectively. And this week we have with us Miss Latrice Hatcher of EXP Realty. She's married now, y'all. Oh. Say it in the mic, honey.
Latrice Woodyard.
Woodyard.
Thank you.
This is Latrice Woodyard.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And Miss Suzette Loggins of Premier Diamond Realty.
Yes.
And Miss Chanel Stafford, the broker and owner of Premier Diamond Realty.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
I'm excited about, and it just occurred to me that the representation of the brokerages, these are the brokerages that are out there. And I love that we also have an independent Black-owned female brokerage
Yes, that's hard.
being represented. Yes.
Yes.
The women. Oh, she's not single. I was going to say I'm single, but she is not single. And her husband is watching right now.
Yes,
We
yes.
see, Brian. Hey, I did not put your wife on the market. So, we want to dive into, I wanted to share that information with you all about them because you're going to hear a lot about them. If you've been listening to this show, you know, and I haven't really talked about it a lot, but I am working on transitioning from residential real estate into development and working on an affordable homeownership opportunity master plan community with some other organizations. And I can't go too much into detail for a lot of reasons. And I just don't like to talk about stuff. I like to be about stuff.
Yes.
But the point is that I want to make sure that I give back, and not just give back, but prepare. I want them to be prepared. I don't want to leave this gap when I step out of the industry. And I say step out, but I'm not really going nowhere. You know, whatever it is that God has for me next is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to always be attached to residential real estate here in Sacramento. But instead of leaving a vacuum, I want to plant a seed that's going to grow and prosper and bring and produce thousands of additional agents here in Sacramento who walk in the same vein. So we are starting with this seed of 6. And I got to tell y'all, the market right now has been weird.
Yes. Oof.
Right?
That's an understatement.
So it transitioned 3 times this year, and we're just now getting ready to leave June.
Yes.
Right? So at the beginning of the year, we still had the low interest rates that we were enjoying with the fear of the Fed saying they were going to increase the rate. So because the Fed said they were going to increase rates, we saw a slew of buyers jump in.
Yes.
So we saw our monthly market data increase as far as purchases were concerned. You see that go up at some point at the beginning of the year. And then when Feds when they finally did increase the rates, we saw the market ask questions, what's happening here? Do I want to be in this market right now? So buyers started leaving the market, right? And now we're starting to see houses sit on the market longer. Mm-hmm. Now we're starting to see price reductions. And then we're still seeing houses being sold at $40,000, $50,000 above list. So here is my theory about that, and you ladies can chime in. I think that what's happening when an agent gets ready to do what we call run comps for a potential seller, we run comps within a half-mile radius of the subject property and no more than 6 months back for the data. And we take that data and we assess, this is the price that, and there's more involved, but I'm just kind of summarizing. This is the potential price that your house could possibly sell at, because this is where the buyers are closing. This is where escrows are closing. Well, think about it. If the rate went up June 1st, and I mean, just picking a date, and you're listing a property June 2nd, and you grabbed comps that closed when the rate was lower, and now I'm the buyer, and think about this. If you're representing buyers and they got pre-qualified in March, and you're showing them properties in April, you're showing them properties in May, you're showing them properties in June when that rate went up. If they have not been in touch with their lender to get an updated pre-approval, which most buyers don't go back and update their pre-approval until what? Till they're getting ready to make
an
that
offer. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or after.
Yeah.
Or after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the agent's fault in that way.
If it's after, that's
that's
definitely
the
the agent's fault.
Yeah.
But if they are going and getting an update on that pre-approval right when they find a house that they love, after they've been pre-approved 3 months prior, they're going to have sticker shock when they see that their rate went from 3% to 5.5%. And now their payment puts them in a category where they were not initially looking. Now they've got to look at a lower price point. If they were looking at $500,000, now they're looking at $425,000 or $4. That takes them out of an entirely different neighborhood. But you listed that home, the listing agent listed that home at that higher price from 3 months prior. So now what's going to happen? That home is going to sit. And those buyers are trying now to get acclimated to this new neighborhood that they got to live in because they can't afford the one that they were initially living in. I think that's where we are. Feedback. I got them stumped.
Yeah, I definitely think that, everyone is going to have a reality check, whether you're a buyer or seller. But some of us that have been in the market for a time, we know that markets go up and down. So for sellers, definitely, you're not going to have that anticipation and like maybe 20 or 30 offers on your house. And you have to kind of live in reality. And hopefully the agent that you're working with is kind of giving you a little bit of that reality check and kind of coming up with some strategies and tactics of how to navigate through that. And also for the buyer, also maybe there's other strategies and tactics. I know you guys talked about it on the last show about possibly buying down the rate and looking at adjustable, rate mortgages, which we haven't seen in so long. But there's tactics that you can use. But again, really working with your professional to kind of come up with that strategy.
And you bring up an excellent point, how you wrap that all up. You've got to have a professional that has that depth of knowledge about being resourceful to come up with that strategy.
Yes.
If there is an agent in the industry who is just waking up in the morning and waiting for business to fall in their lap and they're not doing their due diligence, they're not going to the association meetings, they're not reading not relying on newspaper headlines. Go directly to the market data. Get off your tush and go check out homes. What did this neighborhood sell for last month? You really got to lean into the data because that's why people rely on you.
And to that point, when it comes to the buyers, what I'm telling my buyers is there are more options available for you. So because the market has shifted, we are seeing, like I said, more options available. So if you look at the Sacramento Association of Realtors housing statistics, in April 2022, the months of inventory was 0.4. So what that means is if there were no other homes that were presented to the market, it would take 0.4 months to sell the existing inventory. In May of 2022, that number shot up to 1.4, so more than tripled. So now buyers, they have an opportunity to have more some negotiating leverage, right? So they can now offer at list price, sometimes under list price. They also have an opportunity to negotiate seller concessions. I'm seeing that more. And to your point, Suzette, to ask the seller to buy down the interest rate. So because there is more inventory, there's more options for buyers. And so those buyers who may have decided to exit the seller's market when there was the frenzy and they were getting beat out by 17, 18 offers, they now can re-enter the market, or for those that have continued, stay in the market and turn that hopelessness that they once felt into hope. Right. They can still be a homeowner. And then from the seller side, to your point, the 17, 20 offers on a house, those days have come and gone. So it is more important for sellers to strategically and competitively price their homes. And to your point, we can't go 6 months back. Like we have to look at just a few weeks ago, a month ago, you know what I mean? And then also making sure that they take the time to really present the best product, which is their house. And making sure they do the deep clean, the declutters, the depersonalization, so that they can ensure their house is the star of the MLS show to really look better than their competition.
I definitely want to add one real quick thing onto that is that the market's going to go up and down. That's just how it goes. And people have bought and sold in up and down markets. Investment property is different, but if it's something as far as a new home buyer or seller that wants to move up or move down, your goal is your goal. So you should always do whatever it is that's best for your family. And then getting with that professional that's going to help you create those strategies and tactics. That, like Chanel was saying, there's all these things that you need to do to get and reach your goal. Because again, the market's going to go up and down. You can always refinance. There's all kind of things you can do. But again, your goal should be your goal.
And I would just want to add to that, to piggyback off of all of you, even like with my buyers that I'm currently working with, is to reduce that fear. Because right now there is a lot of fear and uncertainty. And I think it's important to remind them that we're almost going, while Sacramento's cooling off, we're in this hot market, people are flooding in from the Bay Area, we're kind of going back to our normal. So if you're also noticing that the houses are also staying on the market lower, but there's a lot of price drops. I get updates every, this house has dropped 15,000, 20,000. I see one drop 35,000. So it's important to kind of eliminate their fears with the reality of really what it was, because those 2% interest rates was unheard of. It was something that was never done before, which excited a lot of people, and it made it where, yes, your mortgages were cheaper, but it's still kind of that reverse where it starts balancing itself out. Well, because while the prices of the homes are going down, you still are going back to those normal, realistic interest rates.
I think that was you that had mentioned that before. That we're just
back to the normal rate.
We're course correcting now.
And so don't shy away from it, because it's always investing within yourself. It's just being smart about it, making sure you have the tools, making sure your agent that you're working with is in constant communication with your lender, because as a buyer, you're not going to know, But if you have that communication, you're staying up to date, you have that open communication and dialogue, I think it still is a really good time to buy. It's shifting into a buyer's market, because you can ask for credit, You can leverage a little more. Things that weren't being done just 2 months ago are now being done today. Well, let's credit these closing costs up.
I love that. So see, we can go on. We got to take a break. I'm sure we need to take a break. We are 10 minutes past taking a break. We're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to let you know specifically who you've been listening to. You are listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we will be right back.
Yes. I just have the talkers here.
I know. It's like, wait a minute. That was good. And I should be writing notes down, because you said something, and I'm like, oh, yes, that made me think of something. And then, but when you brought up the idea of making sure that we eliminate the fears, that is so huge. And so I want to go back to that. And then there was something that you said, Suzette, too, that I wanted to touch on. But yeah, so the way all of that just happened.
I think we gave a lot of people some good nuggets there. I
Yeah,
really think so.
very good, very good. And leaning into the data,
Yeah.
It's important because I said you can't run comps 6 months. You literally got to run comps within the last 30 to 45 days to get the actual
that was
pricing.
the other thing that I wanted
Right?
to
You're
talk
doing
about.
6 months back. That is not the market today.
It's not.
It's not. I mean, not anywhere. You know, to the fact now you can go to 95757, 95758, those zip codes in Elk Grove and see houses under 5, it's unbelievable. In nice houses, right?
Yeah.
And I think, and again, like you said, properly marketing your property, especially for sellers right now, is going to be
You can't just
huge.
put your house on the market and just think that you're just going to get
But
it.
guess what? 90 days ago, you could put a shack on the market and get
And
over
it's
asking.
exactly, it's going to sell.
Not today. You've got to make sure that house is in tip-top shape, irregardless if it's a
I like that
conventional or
too.
FHA.
I like
It's
that
got to.
too.
Because now,
The buyers have options.
They
have
have options. So
yeah.
it's the sellers now, for the buyers, it's like when they start. So now the conversation is changing with the sellers.
Yeah.
Because we're at that shift.
Yeah, and it's going to go up and down. And I remember you saying like don't have a whole bunch of conversations because we got to say it on the show.
But
I did. But we're gonna, we'll bring it back up.
Yeah.
We'll bring it back up.
But the thing is, like, that goal thing is like, how many people have like waited to buy a house? Like every single year they wait, and then the prices just keep going up.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that too. 2 years ago, pre-COVID,
Down to 2 years ago. What it was?
people were saying the market was gonna crash.
Yeah, and they always say the market's going to crash. And I always go back to saying that, at least in California, if you go back 20, 30, 40 years, no one has ever lost equity. Even if you bought your house at the height.
Now you're doing show
Okay,
stuff.
sorry.
Hey, you guys, y'all are out there watching. Let us know. Lana Smith, hello.
that's
Thank
my
you for
daughter.
tuning in.
Hi,
Aww.
Lana.
She got she's on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. She said Premier Diamond Realty.
The Diamond Duo.
If you guys are out there, put something in the chat. Let us know you're watching. Say hi to the ladies.
I can't even see that.
Oh, no, I can see.
Oh. I'm leaning into it so I can make sure. Right here? That's your honey.
No, at the top.
Oh, that just is a StreamYard comment. It tells me about this. We back already? Okay. That was 3 minutes?
It was. 5. There we go.
Hey everyone, we're back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE, and we were just having a very energetic conversation about the market, and we're going to continue. But first, I want to allow my guests to introduce themselves, and we're going to start with Miss Chanel Stafford, because she's the broker and owner of Premier Diamond Realty, and I want you to tell the folks who you are and all about Premier Diamond Realty in under 60 seconds.
So my name is Chanel Stafford, born and raised in Sacramento, California, graduated from Christian Brothers, traveled 3,000 miles away to Howard University, the real HU, and then came back to Sacramento, where I basically had a long-standing career in pharmaceutical sales. So I used to sell drugs legally for 15 plus years. And then basically decided to transition into real estate. So just kind of going back a little bit, my grandfather, who's a patriarch of our family, he's the one that really introduced us to real estate. And so he's an investor. My parents are investors. And so they showed me the significance of owning properties, and they showed me the value of owning multiple properties to create generational wealth. And so fast forward to 2014, I got my real estate broker's license. Fast forward to 2020, there were 2 major things that happened. Number one, the pandemic, which we all experienced. And number 2, my daughter graduated from high school. And as a result, I had some time to really reflect on what is my passion, what is my purpose, and what did I want the next phase of my life to look like. and all roads led back to real estate. And I wanted to really educate our other people, particularly our community, on real estate, and also to be an inspiration to others that no matter your circumstances, whether you are divorced, been there, whether you were a single mom, been there, whether you have bad credit, whether you have money saved up or not, that you can realize your dream of home ownership if you devise a plan, you work with a realtor as well as a lender to make sure that you stick to the plan. And I wanted to be the one to really guide others down a path of home ownership.
And I also have to add that Chanel was just featured in the Sac Cultural Hub magazine as a second generation Black real estate professional. And we want to congratulate you on that, because there were several people that were honored, and it is a great write-up, and it is a testament. And like I said to you all earlier, this particular group of people, this is not the average 80% that jump into the real estate market. Y'all heard her story. You heard that she's been divorced, she's been a single mom, she has had regular people challenges.
Yep.
You become magical when you persevere through your trials and your testimonies, and you have this testimony because of that.
Yep.
Black girl magic don't just happen because somebody sprinkles some pixie dust on you.
Right. And
Right?
you become relatable. Other people can see themselves in you, and they can have hope that the dream of home ownership is not too far-fetched
Right.
for them.
Right. Exactly. Next, we have, thank you for that. Thank you.
Okay.
Next, we have Miss Suzette Loggins, and she is an agent with Premier Diamond Realty. I was going to say team member, because they are the Diamond Duo.
Yes.
Take it away.
Hi, my name is Suzette Loggins, and before I got into real estate, I was actually going to college to be an electrical engineer with a minor in computer science. And my third year in, someone stopped me at lunch, and they were asking me about real estate. I was like, didn't even know anything about it. They were like, you can make some money. So of course, like, I'm always a fact finder. So I start digging deeper. I started taking some real estate courses and became a realtor at 20. And me and my husband ended up buying our first house at 21. And that just kind of made me so motivated and had a really love and passion for real estate, especially because I was actually born in Central America. And my mom brought us here to live the American dream. And one of the reasons that we come here to live the American dream is home ownership is a big part of it.
Right.
So my passion is definitely to help families, and I've been able to help family buy homes. The first, person in a family buying homes. I've helped multiple family members build wealth.
Right.
And I just really love what I do, because I think that people feel like it's so far out there, and it's really a mindset I'm going to do this. And I think people that are listening that came from other countries, you come here and you're you just have a hunger.
Right.
And that hunger that I have to help people, and this is the avenue that I have chosen to do that. That's why I've stayed in the business for so long.
And I appreciate Suzette. As we were going through the coaching problem, you guys heard her say she's a what did you say?
I was born in Central America.
No.
Yeah.
When you said when the person told you that you can make a lot of money, you said you started fact finding.
Fact finding.
So
yes.
She is definitely a fact finder, and that's a strength that she has that serves her very well. When it comes to any business that you create, you have to create systems and processes, and all of them were just majorly surprised and excited about all the systems and processes that I was presenting to them. And Suzette would come to me with options, and you should do this, and I found this, and what if you tweak that, and you should add this, and this would enhance the That's what I'm talking about.
Well, some people may have gotten irritated on that, but I'm always here to help. My heart is always.
But
to
that's
help.
your superpower.
Yeah.
Because we need that. That the world, God is a God of systems and processes. Had He not been, the sun would not revolve the way it does every day. We rely on the goodness of God. Amen.
Amen.
Because He is the God of systems and
We in
processes.
church up here.
So there.
Well, I wanted to say one quick thing. Keelan had said on the last show that he learned his craft by like going out and witnessing. So when I grew up in church, I was door knocking and witnessing also. I'm like, I think that like God showed us like he trained us very young.
Yeah, you had no idea when he was
like knocking on doors.
before.
I wasn't scared to go knock on doors and tell people about God.
I love that because that shows how somebody listening right now might think that the thing that they're doing is not going to serve any purpose later on. But God don't waste nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Every part of your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, He can use it all. I want to introduce our last guest, but definitely not least. I got to get this new name right now. Mrs. Latrice Woodyard. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Key. Good afternoon, everyone. So yes, my name is Latrice Woodyard. So in a nutshell, I had 18 years of state service. I've always been very passionate about people. And I realized little disparities and discrepancies with working with the state of California, and realized they had control right over the money we're making because they have the opportunity and option to pick and choose who they wanted for the job, even if you're qualified or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I experienced and overlooked, through some disparities, and I said, this is how I feed my children. So it became more than doing the work. This is how I provide. As a single mother, right? Newly divorced. And so I was overlooked for promotion opportunity and said, you know what, I've got to find something different. And I've always had the interest of helping people, but now it came about helping myself.
Yeah.
Right. And so I got my license in real estate in 2016. Did nothing with it, played around, came and went, brokerage here, brokerage there. Didn't really take it serious. I really didn't have to. It wasn't until fast forward, 2020, we got Donald Trump. People start changing and being more bolder. And me being the people person, I made the decision to speak out about disparities. Depending on who you talk to, they might say good or bad. Me speaking out ultimately landed me a termination because I had made a complaint about discrimination, thinking I was representing something well. So I had one or two things. It was either you're going to soak in this termination of a 20-year career or you're going to allow God to use you. And that is when I found myself in my purpose. And I tell everybody, I thank them every single day for that termination through civil service, because it would not have brought me in here to the financial freedom, to me having the ability to not just help myself, but help others. It changed my mindset. It allowed me to see the humility within myself and as a human. And I love it. So, it came down to, I said, God, if this is what you have for me, I'm either going to sink or fail. And it's up to you. And I was, it was May 2021. I was kind of trying to figure things out, still not really bothered by the termination, but just enjoying myself not working. I've been working since I was 16. So I was like, let me take this opportunity to do nothing.
Relax.
And then reality settled in, right? You got bills to pay. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I remember, I don't know why, but I remember, I think you were on Key was on an episode of Good Day Sacramento. And I said, Keisha Matthews. I said, hey, look. Reached out. I was one of those ones like, hey, look, I need you. I need to meet with you. Sometimes you respond. I'm like, look, I need you to pick up your phone.
Right.
Hey, do you remember me? Hey, Latrice from the Christmas. Like, oh, I do remember you. So I said, hey, look, this is my situation. This is my circumstances. Wow, it was about others, but it became about myself.
Right.
I said, look, this is do or die.
Yeah.
And I need you to help me.
We had like a 2-3 hour conversation
Yes.
at the coffee shop at Savvy Coffee House in El
Black
Dorado,
owned.
Bruceville. Yes.
And it was a life-changing meeting. And so you poured into me. I have not looked back. I refuse to look back, because you can have a testimony and be a victim or a victor. I'm nobody's victim. So guess what? I tell you my first, and I have to say this because I had no experience. It was solely because you pulled out the beast in me. It was like, no, you got it.
Yeah.
You just got to pull it out.
It was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
But I didn't even see. I didn't have the confidence. I knew I wanted to do it, but I just needed that extra push. So, my first 4 weeks of 2021, my volume was 1.8 million. I've not looked back, and here I am, and I'm still going.
Awesome. And I got to tell you guys, she's being very humble. She was a bigwig for that agency that she worked for that shall remain nameless. She did some stuff for that agency that if we said the name of what she did, you would know. And she was the creator of the thing the thing we can't say for the agency that we can't name. But she's being very humble, and she has taken that same effort and energy that she applied for someone else, and she applied it to her own business. And this is what I'm talking about. This is who we have with us today. This is how you know you're doing the thing you're created to do, because it will move you into, it will take you places, it will pay your bills. It will take care of other people. It will come back twofold. But let's get back to this market.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies, for being here. Before we went on the break, they were talking about things, and I wanted to jump in, and so I wrote some notes down. Latrice mentioned buyer's fears and calming buyer's fears, and that is so good right now, because this is changing into a buyer's market. That is the title of the next 3 to 6 months, you all. So if y'all are listening, and if you're buyers, and like Latrice said, if you were out there before and you tapped out, it's time to tap back in. All of the ladies said that it's going to take you having representation of an agent who is resourceful, who has access, who can help you think about what other options are. What are your alternatives? What things can you do? And they mentioned some of them. What were the suggestions? The rate buy down, asking for seller credit, seller concessions.
Yeah, one of the things that we didn't really mention is about just having an agent that, like all of us, we know how to talk. And a lot of times it's building that relationship with whoever you're submitting that offer to, because a lot of people, like, I list properties and people send me blind offers, and it's crazy.
Really?
Like, so if you're going to have an agent as a buyer, you want that agent to be hustling for you and out there grinding and finding you that property.
Right. You just brought up another good point. I've received offers like a month or two later in my bulk mail, not receiving them, but seeing them a month or two later, where an agent sent an offer but didn't call me, didn't text me, didn't check or follow up to see if I had received it. It was just sitting out there in the spam, because they got some really weird email address, or they didn't put in a proper subject, for whatever reason that email go to spam. And if you have an agent that doesn't have a formal process, and here's what really lets you know, because you don't really know to ask the agent, well, what is your process for submitting offers? You don't know that, right?
No, you don't.
But do you know how to go to Yelp or Zillow or Facebook or websites or whatever, and check and see what other people are saying about them? Testimonials. Where are they, where people are saying, this is how they worked the transaction for me. They were detailed. They had so much follow through. They were so kind. They did this, they did that. That is the reference, is the highest form of appreciation that your seller can give you, or your client, your seller or buyer can give you. And so I highly recommend that agents ask their clients for testimonials, and then that consumers look for the testimonials, because the proof is in how the other person was treated, how their transaction transpired, because you don't really always know what to ask, right?
Exactly.
The other thing that I wanted to point out was, we talked about the list prices, the houses being overpriced because sellers and listing agents are looking at data that's no longer, you're weighing that data against new interest rates. And these buyers now are down in another category. So sellers and listing agents, what I thought about is, if I list this property. So for example, I did this really quickly during the break, so I'm going to go back and see if I've done this before, but I like to do this just to show people. A home that listed for $450,000 when interest rates were 2.5%. The buyer was putting down 3.5%. I'm sorry. I didn't do that right. What I wanted to do, let me go back. I want to show you guys an example or tell the audience an example. A down payment, let's say FHA buyer is using a down payment assistance program, right? And the house price is $450,000. Let's say back when interest rates were 2.5%, they were looking at a payment of about $2,500. That's including mortgage insurance. That is where people were acclimated. That's that buyer who was looking for homes back in March and April, right? And interest rates were slowly creeping up. But when that rate got to 5.5%, guess where that payment was? That payment is now $3,300 a month. At $3,300 a month, you've got to be making somewhere near $10,000 or more to be able to afford that mortgage.
Three times as much, yeah.
Right? That requires some acclimation. People already get pre-approved for more than they want to spend, if we can just say that. Because a lot of people say, they say, I can get a house at $500,000, but I only want one at $4,000. Or they say I can get one at $8,000, but I only want one at $6,000. So to have to get acclimated to even more, it mentally, there's a psychological transition that has to happen. People are going to need time to get acclimated to making these $3,000 and $4,000 house notes.
May I share something?
Yes, ma'am.
And it goes to a mindset. I was looking at stats through the National Association of Realtors, and in California, which is super sad, 32% of Black people own homes. So when you're saying these numbers, and the first thing I thought about, I don't want our people out there to get scared. I do not want you guys to get scared. Work with someone that the Fed has already said for the last year that they're going to raise the rates. And I'm sure all of us have talked to our buyers and said, buy now, buy now, buy now. But the rates are high right now, but it's not unattainable. We can put some things in place to get you into a home. So again, don't want to get people scared, because there are ways for you to buy a house.
And I think that's how we control the dialogue. It's kind of how we present it to our clients while we continue to say the rates are high. I always tell my clients the rates are going back to normal. I don't want you to think we're somewhere we've never seen before, because we've been here before, just like we've been through the wave of the business of real estate. We understand it's up and down, but it's really controlling how we explain it and how we tell them. We explain the resources. Yes, while we have an all-time historic low, this is our normal.
So not only is it about explaining, but you have a great understanding. A lot of agents don't understand. They're just out there like a stop sign. But you have to really delve in like you have.
And unintentionally put that fear into the clients by the verbiage we use. So I became intentional with the conversations and the verbiage and how I explain to my clients, because I don't want them to hear me say, well, I want to go back low. Well,
you're backing it up with evidence.
With data, exactly. And then there's resources, because I think sometimes, to me, what I've run into, not so much the fears of the interest rates. I see on social media where, I saw an individual post that said, I can't believe the lender said, hey, go borrow the down payment from a family member. We don't got that opportunity. We don't have that
family member is that going to be?
Where we can go pull, hey, mom, let me borrow $20,000.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have that, right? But there's resources available where you can get the down payment assistance that can cover your closing costs, that can cover your down payment. And then we can deal with the other conversations of interest rates.
Y'all are hearing in real time when I say they're resourceful. See, she didn't just let a roadblock shut her down. She's like, oh no, you don't have a rich grandpa, but let me tell you where you can find some money. Yes.
And what is your lender partner? I'm sorry.
No.
But a good lender partner who has resources available. There's all kinds. There's first responders. There's teachers. There's all different type of assistance out there. Sydney, she made a post about NACA with Section 8. taught me something. It was like, you know what, gave me some homework. So there's a volume of resources out there that can help you with those fees. But you've got to have the right person there willing to help you.
Absolutely.
And we all want to see everyone have the American dream of home ownership. It's not about $1 for us. It's really about rebuilding and reestablishing what we are all deserving.
Helping people to be self-sustaining.
Yes.
Chanel.
I was just going to say, what's the alternative? Is it renting? Because we also know that rental prices have significantly increased. And I know that there are several people who inconveniently had to move because that homeowner decided to sell their home.
Yeah.
And so now they're forced to move within 60 days, and find a house that maybe they don't really like.
Where the rents are higher than the mortgage.
Yeah.
Exactly. And every year when that lease, terminates, guess what? The rent is going up again. And so in this market, the rents are almost comparable to a mortgage payment. So again, just getting creative in determining how can you be a homeowner and utilizing resources like us, realtors, lenders. We can set you on the right path to become a homeowner and realize your dream.
It's not that the mortgage is not suitable because you're already paying mortgage with the rent price right now.
Yeah.
It's really that down payment. So when I hear and I'm listening to people, it's not that they can't make that payment because their rent may be more than a mortgage. Actually, when you're looking at the price point, but Latrice, how do I come up with this money? Where am I going to get $30,000 from? We don't have that sitting in the bank. And if we do, you've got some special circumstances that allow you that type of money.
Right.
And, some do, but unfortunately, it's not familiar in our community.
Right.
And sometimes home ownership doesn't mean you get to buy today.
Exactly.
Sometimes devising the plan, it may be a 1-year plan, it may be a 2-year plan. And so I know for Suzette and I, we have some buyers that we're working with that aren't necessarily ready today, but they will be ready within 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
And so again, as a buyer, if it's what you want, you have to be disciplined. So when your friends are going to Vegas and they're going to have a good time, or your friends are going to Essence Festival,
you gotta have that
tunnel vision to say, I can't make this year's trip because I have to save my money so that exactly.
And it makes those hard
sacrifice.
It makes those hard conversations. I had one family member like 5 or 6 years ago, and no one in the family ever owned a house. And I had to tell them, you cannot pay your family bills. Like when your brother calls you because he can't make his car payment, you are going to buy a house. You got to tell them no. They're not going to like you for the next year. But a year later, they were able to buy a house. Then I was able to get the brother a house. I was able to get the cousin a house. Now there's like 4 people in that house. In that family that own a house because that one person made the hard decision.
Yeah.
That's that one.
Yeah. Those are those tough conversations. We're going to take a break on time. When we come back, I want to share some information with you all that one of my lender partners shared with me, and it falls right in line with our conversation today. And you're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I am posting, I put this comment on here after the fact. I am certain that Mr. Graves was laughing at something that has already happened.
Oh, yeah, that's
Sorry about that, Derek. He laughed at something and I put it up there. Hey, you guys, if y'all are watching, say something in the chat. Let us know you're there so we can say hey to you. Oh my gosh, the time flies by so fast.
I know.
6 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
What are you looking around for?
6 minutes each? No,
right. Yeah, no.
I heard you say something about a podcast. I know a lot of people take these lives and they have someone edit it and just chop them into a podcast and just create a podcast
I have a
show.
podcast.
Oh, you do? I don't know what were they talking about the other time because I thought
they said it, but I just laughed.
Oh, because I thought
Because
you did.
I
Yeah,
did.
okay.
It just was not
then.
the time to.
Okay, that's why I was like, I know you have all these channels. I was
Yeah, there's a podcast.
I was like, maybe
so
I missed something.
Look, you're just doing that's you're leaning into your strength. You're like, I'm just fact checking now. Don't you know? Yes. So Daniel Robertson sent me this information, and I want to share it. Fannie Mae increased income limits, And that's huge because the income limits for Sacramento County had been $72,000 for a long time, putting buyers at the like almost $400,000 price point, and a home at. Thank you.
See?
Turn it up.
It's always time to go. Man.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Derek's
Always laughing at.
But after today, I'll put it in the board for you.
Hello, Miss Letitia. Derek, I was laughing at her saying she sold drugs legally.
You gotta clarify that. Yeah.
So it's positive, like legally.
If y'all see some comments pop up, tell me to look that way. If you see the thing go boop, then it's a comment. I get so into the conversation, I forget to go like this, and then look and see what the people are talking. But I want to share what he says the new income limits are. It should be exciting. I haven't done the math to figure out where that puts us as far as house prices, but it may not be any different since the interest rate has gone up.
Sure.
So we'll see. And then this is the segment where we're going to tell them how to reach you guys. Okay. Gracias.
4.
Hey everyone, we're back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE Selling Sacramento with me, Agent Key, and my special guest today, the Selling Sacramento Buyer Squad. Part 2. And I want you ladies to take an opportunity to tell people how to reach you if they want to utilize your services after hearing all these wonderful things about how strong you are, how you're going to represent them, how you're going to close transactions for them. How do they reach you?
So I am Suzette Loggins on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Real Estate Made Simple too, because I make it simple for you to get into real estate.
And your phone number, ma'am?
916-524-0828.
One more time. Somebody ran to get a pen.
Yes, get a pen. 916-524-0828.
All right.
And you can reach me on Facebook at Chanel Stafford, as well as Instagram at Chanel R. Stafford. My name's ChanelRStafford. And then you can go to our website at www.pdiamondrealty.com. So I look forward to chatting with you soon.
And your phone number?
Oh, and my phone number is 916-601-2864.
One more time.
916-601-2864.
Or does she turn that into a song? Yeah. And last?
Hey again, so this is Latrice. You can reach me on Facebook and Instagram under my maiden name, Latrice Pay. That's Latrice. Last name P as in Peter, EAY. That is Facebook and Instagram. My phone number is 916-826-1300. One more time for the people in the back. 916-826-1300. I am looking forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.
And you can also reach all of them on my website at agentkey.com, agentkee.com. If you click on the Buyers tab, a drop-down menu will appear and it says Selling Sac Buyer Squad. So click on that and you will see all their information. And as I said, you're going to be seeing a lot more of them because we are training them up in the way that they should go. And it's really not hard to do because they're all going that way anyway. We're just pouring into the ground that's already fertilized, right?
Right.
Yes.
I want to make a quick plug for Monday Moments with Suzette and Chanel.
Oh,
Every
yes.
Monday we
Yes.
post some really good videos that have really good information. So remember to follow us.
They are very entertaining. Very entertaining. They are into that what you call it? What's that?
Reels.
The reels, yeah.
Yes.
State reels. who says real estate can't be fun? So of course we like to educate and encourage, everyone to be a homeowner, but why not have fun along the way?
And they're very creative.
And I just started putting them on shorts. So anyone that's on YouTube, we have a lot of shorts out there now too.
That's awesome. Before we go, I want to tell you guys, I got this email from one of my lender partners. You can also find my lender partners on my website under the buyers tab, and it'll say lender partners. But my lender partner, Daniel Robertson, he emailed me and he said, if I have any borrowers who've been priced out of the market and are looking for down payment assistance, he updated me that Cal HFA has loosened their guidelines. They now go up to 50% DTI for borrowers with 700 plus FICO and have increased their area median income prices. That's significant because the area median income for a lot of DPA programs, down payment assistance programs, they require that you go no more than about $72,000. You can't, they max that income out at that. And so he told me now that the new income max is $81,920. I haven't done the calculations to see what that looks like as far as a home price. And I'm speculating that it's probably somewhere around the same price, which is around $400,000, but maybe a little bit more. And I say that only because interest rates are now up and we're just kind of trying to balance it out. But here's the part where I want to be encouraging. As Latrice said, there's a positive side to this. As we are saying that interest rates are returning to normal, you're looking at it like, well, the prices aren't going down. Yes, they are. So hang in there. Don't give up. Your time is coming. One of the ladies mentioned, no, both Chanel and Suzette mentioned, sometimes it takes you to set up a plan to be ready. Sometimes you're not ready right now. So while we are possibly going to see home prices drop over the next few years, because inventory is sprouting up like bad weeds, but it's a good thing. You go to bed and the yard is clean, you wake up, there's a weed. That's what housing is about to look like. And so with more inventory, with increased supply, comes less demand on individual properties. And so that means that sellers are going to be forced to put the houses on the market at a more competitive price, making it more affordable. So as those rates are now higher, the prices will adjust themselves accordingly. The problem we had over the past couple of years is that there's not been enough inventory. So we're not going to see people, outbidding each other and prices increasing as inventory comes on the market, because there's going to be more of it to go around as time goes by. So that's my speculation based on the data, not a crystal ball, right? Any closing thoughts before we close out, ladies? Anything you've been dying to say?
We always tell you, but I always have to end every conversation with thank you for always pouring into us, trusting and believing in us, and giving us the blueprint.
My pleasure.
We love you.
Yes.
And she was talking and she was almost in tears, and I'm trying, I don't like to be
know.
touching my feelings, but she almost had me touching my feelings, and I had to pull back because each of their stories is compelling and just tugging. And as I was talking to Latrice about her, we was both crying.
Right.
Because there's just some stuff that we go through on a cultural level that most people don't understand. And when you are trying to figure that thing out to the glory of God,
That's the process.
yes, because you have to really overlook offenses that other people might not. Yes. It's just to move forward. And I'm so very proud of you. I am very proud of you. You are doing the dang thing. I'm proud of all of you.
Yes.
I can genuinely and authentically say that. Y'all are the bomb.com. You are what an agent is supposed to be. And I'm just so proud of you. And I got 2 more that are coming up, y'all. And one of them is here in Sacramento, and the other one is in San Antonio. The other one is my niece daughter. and her name is Destiny Wilson, and she's in San Antonio, and she's doing the dang thing, y'all. So I'll let you in on the other one as soon as I let her know that she's the other person,
Yeah.
because she's been doing what they did, but we haven't made it official yet, y'all. Anyway, we gotta go. It's been a great show. Dusty's shaking his head. And remember, if you are doing what you were created to do, I will see you at the top. Thank you, ladies. Did we miss any more comments over here? I think we did.
Okay.
What did Derek say? Oh, he was laughing. We got that one. And then you are all amazing. Keep up the awesome work. You too, Miss Kiara. Yes, girl. All right, you guys. Let's wave goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
We'll see y'all next time. Bye. End broadcast.